Hey everybody, Bob Babbitt here, Challenged Athletes Live. Our next guest, Paralympic gold medalist from Rio in 2016, Bethany Zummo joins us. Bethany, how the heck are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am spectacular. So talk a little bit about growing up and early on after you had your leg amputated. Was it hard for you to go to the pool and take your leg off? And it was early on, were you trying to basically cover that up?
Yeah, so my parents really instilled in me that I could be just like everyone else, and not to use my leg as an excuse for saying I can't for anything. And overall, that was really easy for me to do, except for that example of the pool. I actually would keep my leg on and try to swim with my leg on, but the legs that I had at the time weren't really waterproof. So my parents were like, please don't do that. But I would go to the pool with my friends and do it anyway and be like, sorry, I just ruined my leg. But I was too afraid of taking my leg off around my friends. So that took a long time for me to get used to. But
what was the point where you realized, you know what the hell? They're my friends. They're going to like me no matter what.
Honestly, not until high school.
Really?
Yeah, it was very, very hard for me. And it was only around certain friends that I felt really comfortable with. So even talking about sleepovers and stuff, I don't sleep with my leg on, like you probably don't sleep with your shoes on.
Right.
But I would sleep with my leg on, or if we were in a sleeping bag, I would kind of pop my leg off a little bit, but very rarely did my friends see me with my leg off until about high school.
So you were thinking about this all the time. Basically, if we're going to go out somewhere, you're always thinking about what am I going to do? Because I don't want to take my leg off.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I still think about that, but in a less about what others would think of me, and more about what am I doing? Can I wear heels? What if I have to take my shoes off? That's something that prosthetic people have to think about a lot anyway. But the mental side of it, that was when I was younger. Yeah.
When did you find sit volleyball and realize that, you know what, this is I'm pretty good at this?
Yeah. So actually I was introduced to the sitting volleyball team when I was in 7th grade. And at that point in my life, I was very stubborn and did not want to admit that I had one leg. So I actually said no thank you to playing any kind of adaptive sport. And it took me until my sophomore year of high school for me to start really embracing myself as a person, as an amputee, as an adaptive athlete. And so I actually started the team in my sophomore year of high school.
And early on, were you trying to play regular volleyball?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So starting in about 7th grade, I started playing with my school team. And so from 7th grade on through the completion of high school, I played in school and in club for standing.
And then obviously you knew about sit volleyball, didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. When did you make that transition to, okay, what the heck?
Well, my mom really, really hounded me about it. It's did you know they're in the Netherlands right now and you could be playing on a national level if you really wanted to? And I was like, yes, but I have 2 legs, so I don't need to play that. I was so stubborn.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then once I started, it was why didn't I do this? This is so much fun. I don't know.
What was it when you first started playing? Compare it to standing volleyball. What did you like about this new game?
So I loved rolling around on the ground.
Yeah.
Silly, but when I play standing, I was always the libero position because I'm a tiny human. I'm 5'3", so I always was in the back row diving all over the place, and then came to sitting and was like, wait, this is my favorite part of standing, and I get to play like this all the time. So yeah.
The difference between, because I tried to play with Travis Ricks and some of the guys at CAF because we set up sit volleyball during the week, and your natural thing in standing volleyball is you've got your hands ready to hit the ball or to bump the ball. And when you're playing sitting, you got to have your hands on the ground because you got to move. Did you find that to be the hardest transition?
Absolutely. I think what we tell a lot of, I mean, I've been on the team for 10 years, so
Yeah.
I started as a new person, and now after this amount of time, like I've introduced a lot of other people into it. And it's always the first thing we talk about is if you can't move to the ball, you can't play the ball. So, yeah.
Both your sisters are Division I lacrosse players, so right? And
yes, they've both graduated already, but
right. And when you started playing internationally, what type of response did you get from those guys?
oh, super supportive. My sisters are so cute. Like they actually love playing sitting. They actually came to one of the national championships
Yeah.
because we can put together teams just with family and friends and whoever wants to play. And my sisters joined, and they're so cute because in high school they were always very athletic, and I again was super stubborn, and I was like, you can't play volleyball because I play volleyball. I won't play soccer. I won't play lacrosse. Like, this is my sport, and that's and I look back and I'm like, why didn't I want to play with them? We play together now, and it's so much fun.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So when was your first international tournament?
2011 in Brazil.
How fun was that?
Oh, it was amazing. It was the best. I was like 18. Like, I thought I just was seeing this whole new world, and it was incredible.
So that was your first international, and then you come back in 2016, back to Brazil, and win your gold medal.
Yeah. It's Brazil has a special place in my heart. So
I was gonna say, talk a little about that, because in 2014 World Championships, silver. 2018 silver. You're an alternate on the 2012 team, I think, and then going in 2016, just getting chosen for the team. Yeah. When did you find out, and how exciting was that for you?
Well, we actually didn't find out until like the July before.
Wow.
Yeah, so we don't know roster. Like you have an idea because
you're at all. Yeah.
But no, my coach likes to keep things very secret. I'm just kidding. He doesn't want to announce it until he's sure, and right. You never really know, like with injuries and stuff, what can happen, and they want to make sure they're making the right decision on roster. So
that's got to be hard though, right? Because you've got family wants to come and get tickets and buy airfare and all that stuff, and to wait, because you're talking July, and you're talking the Paralympics were what, September, something like that?
Yeah, August, September. Yeah, and that was the same thing before the London Games as well, and that was my first attempt at a games, and so it was you're kind of always like, I'm training and I don't know, but I'm going to keep training and I'm going to give it everything that I have, and I just hope that it's the outcome that I want it to be.
So when you're an alternate, do you go, or do you don't get to go?
No, you just sit at home and cheer them on over the television. And
how hard was that, being an alternate? Yeah, I bet. You want to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to be a contributing member of the team, and it's taken me some time to realize that you can be a leader from the bench. You can be a leader from being a supporting audience member. Like there's so many different ways to be a part of the
right.
team.
So in terms of the gold medal, who did you guys play in the finals?
We played China, who were undefeated. So
they were favored.
Yeah, absolutely.
And had you guys ever beaten them?
Yes, we actually beat them early on that same year at Intercontinental Cup. Yeah. And it was the first time that we had beaten. Oh my, I'm getting shivers.
Good, I like that.
It was the first time that we had beaten them in my entire time on the team and prior. So that was a huge moment, and it just helped build leading up to Rio. Ooh, I gotta make these go away.
I like that. So you get to Rio, and now were there some early round matches that were close, that were pretty scary?
They actually beat us in pool play. So there were two pools, and
right.
They had beat us in 5, and we were so angry and upset, but also no, this is not how this tournament is going to end. So we just had to rematch them again in the final, and had a different outcome.
Well, when you lost to them in the rounds, did you guys come away thinking we could have beat them? It wasn't like they dominated us.
Yeah, absolutely. The game was very close. And I think it just a lot like at this stage in the game, it's all mental.
Right.
We are physically capable of beating this team, and we all know it. We just have to really believe it in our heads. And I think there was like a tiny transition, and we did.
The feeling of hearing the anthem and watching the flag go up, and this is another goosebump time for you. Being on the medal state and getting that gold medal, is there a better feeling in the world?
Not yet. Maybe Tokyo will have a similar feeling, but it's actually really interesting because people ask me all the time like what it felt like, and it's hard. Like I feel like it's like it doesn't feel like it was real, and so it's hard to pinpoint exactly like what I was feeling, because I can look back at pictures and be like, oh my gosh, yes, so we did it, like, and I see all these pictures like my facial expressions being all crazy, and it's very hard for me to actually like get back into that spot in my brain, like, oh my god, that was real, that actually happened.
So when you guys come off of that, the high of winning the gold and coming back, how did that change your world when you guys come back as gold medalists? More media, more potential sponsors, that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of celebration afterwards. We celebrated. So
Good. You're in Rio. What the heck?
absolutely. And even coming home to be able to be with family and friends who didn't get to be at the games, like just reliving it, like my parents had recorded it on the TV, so we come back home, we watch it, and it's like super super exciting, and it can be a little bit odd when it switches, because we're training and training and training and building, and then it's over, and then it's like the celebration, and
Then
now
what?
like
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah,
Now it's Tokyo,
yeah.
right? So how did that affect you? And obviously you're gearing up 2020, and then it's like, okay, you've got another year.
Yeah.
Has that been tough?
Yeah, so it's odd though, because this quad for me has actually been full of these kind of adversities,
Hmm.
because in 2017 I was at the next big competition and tore my labrum in my hip during a game, and
Oh,
then was out, and then got back from that injury and got a concussion, and then was out, and then came back from that injury. So I feel like I've been having a lot of personal battles, and so maybe that's why this hasn't been as huge of an impact on me, because I feel like I've been like, okay, so we'll get past this one, let's get past the next one, and then we'll get past. So
right.
it will happen. Tokyo will happen. I'm sure of it.
And what will it mean if you're able to get back there and get a second gold medal?
It's just I can't. I don't know. It's just like I can't even
Yeah.
fathom that. Like I can dream it and I can visualize it in my head, but it's never the same as what it is in real life, like when it's actually happening. So
Yeah. Okay, we're going to move into rapid fire. These are
okay.
quickies.
Okay.
Best CAF memory.
Memory.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of Travis. Just being
Yes.
ball all the time. I was actually worried that Travis was going to be the one during the interview, because I was like, I can't focus when he's talking to me, because I met him when I was like 15. So yeah.
How important was Travis to your life?
Oh, super important. Yeah, he introduced me to CAF. Him and Patrick. I wouldn't be talking to you if it wasn't for those two people.
I love that. Okay. What's your go-to comfort food?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, when I can get them Thin Mints, I love
Ooh,
so much. I have a problem. I have to stay away from them. But
we all do. What's made you successful?
support of my family, support of my friends, support of my teammates. I've never played an individual sport because I don't think that I would thrive in one. I thrive in community. I thrive in team, and that's just who I am.
I love it. Do you have any go-to technology?
My phone. I mean,
You live on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a millennial, so
Oh, of course, hello.
that's that.
Favorite book or podcast?
Oh, that's so hard. Right now I'm reading, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but it's called You Are a Badass.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm reading that currently, and I just love it. It's such a like, it's not like self-help as you would like think of it
Yeah.
stereotypically. It's just like, man, it just helps me remind myself to have confidence, and just to believe in myself, because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes that goes away, and you're filled with what ifs and self-doubt, and so it's really helped to keep me grounded.
That title sounds like your autobiography. I like that.
Maybe.
Favorite words to hear from a coach?
Consistently good. I have told my my coach since Rio, because he, in every single like leading up practice and in every single timeout during that gold medal match, he would say, just be consistently good. You don't have to be great. You don't have to be like this big person. Like, you just have to be, I just have to do my job, and I don't have to overthink it, and that my team will be there for me and give just as much as I give to them.
Least favorite words to hear from a coach?
10 touch.
What does that mean?
It's a punishment. So a lot of times I would show up late to practice when I was in my youth. And I would have to do this drill called a 10 touch. And basically I was in a ready position sitting, and the coach would just throw balls anywhere he wanted in the whole gym. And you have to touch 10 of them before they hit the ground. And so it taught me how to move, but I never, ever want to do one ever again. And I hope that my coach cannot hear this. So he'll make me do one.
So if you're going to give, you are the ultimate in positivity. If you're going to give a message, because a lot of our challenge athletes are in sports like wheelchair rugby, wheelchair basketball, like team-oriented, like you guys, and can't be with their teammates right now.
Yeah.
So much of people's identity sometimes is their sport. What's your message to them if they're struggling a little bit right now?
That is hard, because I've been trying to work on that myself, because I am also by myself. And what helps me stay grounded is continuing to reach out to my teammates. Some of them who we don't normally talk to each other outside of volleyball or whatever. Some of them I talk to every single day. And I think that keeping at least that open communication like has helped me to stay grounded, and knowing that like I'm not alone, you're not alone. Do you want to jump on a FaceTime call and do a workout together? I actually do that with my boyfriend. He's on the Brazilian national team. So we FaceTime every single day and do a workout together. So that's just helped, because he's in the same position. None of us can practice. None of us can be in our normal routine. So
love it. Hey, Bethany, thank you so much for taking time, and thank you for being such a great part of our CAF family. I love your personality. You just jump off the computer. You're amazing. What was that?
All the coffee. Travis and Patrick know that when I come to do things, they say Bethany's coffee stipend is whatever she wants.
That is great. Bethany Zummo has been our guest. Bethany, thank you again. This is Challenge Athletes Live. My name is Bob Babbitt, and tune in next time.
Thank you.
Bye.